What's up, guys? So I'm here again and I want to talk about 3 things that we didn't see in the Street Fighter 4 series that I want to be in Street Fighter 5. Now before we begin, I want to remind you guys that I want to hear your opinions as well. What are some of the things you want to see in Street Fighter 5? That's the main thing I want to know. But yeah, let's just talk about my 3 things and just jump right into it. Now, the first thing I really want there, the most to be in Street Fighter 5, is an in-depth tutorial that teaches the player how to actually play the game. You know, most of my friends, when they jump into a fighting game, they automatically want to quit. You know, they're confused, and when I try to explain how to do certain things, how to cancel a normal move into a special or a special move into another special, or just talking about links and comboing in general, they automatically get turned off. They get confused even more when I explain it to them and I say, alright, go search a video on YouTube, and they don't want to do that. They feel it's too much work, so they just drop it altogether. And I tell them, guys, you know, this is a fighting game. It's not like a game you can just jump into, but I feel like it'll bring more players in if Street Fighter 5 had an in-depth tutorial. You know, games like Blaze Blue and Persona 4, they do it really well. They add a little humor into it as well. I know a couple of other fighting games also do this. I believe Guilty Gear, the newest one that came out, definitely did this. So I feel Street Fighter 5 should definitely jump on that bandwagon because they'll bring in a lot of attention, a lot of people, and you'll keep them there. You know, the intimidation factor in fighting games nowadays is extremely high, and it really turns people off. You know, why do you think games like Call of Duty, first-person shooters in general, are so big? It's because they're easy to jump into, they're not that hard to figure out. And I feel if fighting games took this route, it'll bring a lot more people in and keep them here. And that's the main thing. I want to see the fighting game genre grow as a whole. And instead of it being for like privileged people, I guess you can say. Because there's actually a lot of people out there who don't know what charge characters are. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who don't know what charge characters are. And it's crazy. I feel the game should explain things like that. Explain the neutral game, explain spacing, explain that this is not a mashing game where you have to hurt your opponent for their mistakes. You know, things of that nature. You really guide the player into Street Fighter 5, and I feel that's an essential, actually. Now, the next thing I actually want to see is not too big, but I feel that it will make me very happy if it is included in Street Fighter 5, and that's color palettes. You can Street Fighter Cross Tekken did this really well. You can change the color of the outfit that your character is wearing, but not like everything as a whole, but as, you know, certain parts. You know, say like you want the shoulders to be red, you want his boots to be blue. It's completely customizable to your liking. Different outfits will have different parts that can be customized, obviously, and you know, I feel like this really represents the player. We're not seeing the same boring colors all the time, because usually there's like 2 good colors to me that I always pick. And you know, I feel like if I can make my own design on a character that I love, it'll represent me more as a player. And that's what customization is supposed to do. It's supposed to put your personality into it. And Street Fighter Cross Tekken did this beautifully. As bad of as a rep as that game gets, Street Fighter Cross Tekken was amazing when it came to customization to all the characters. The Tekken series really does this well, and I feel like it should be implemented in Street Fighter 5. Now, a bad thing that can come out of this is that players start blending in with the backgrounds. You know, it's hard to see during a match, but I feel like this is not a really big issue, just because Street Fighter Cross Tekken once again did it really well, and I feel like there's no doubt that it should be implemented in Street Fighter 5. Now, my last thing is not a huge thing, but it can be considered a huge thing, I guess, and that is having a stun gauge present. A lot of people in Street Fighter 4, they knew how much stun their attacks do, their combos do, and they know how much stun a character can take, but a lot of people don't know that. Like I said before, a lot of players don't know what charge characters are, so they're not gonna memorize how much stun damage something does. Street Fighter Third Strike actually had this beautifully implemented. It was really informative. I feel like the more you inform players instead of having them guess, I'm about to get stunned here, it can make them a bit more cautious, a bit more decision heavy, I guess is lack of a better term. And you know, a lot of people are probably going to say you should know the stun, but a lot of people don't take the time to memorize how much stun something does. and when the opponent is close to stun. So when somebody's close to stun, maybe it could be a bit more aggressive. You know, you're giving players more information. I feel like that's always a good thing. But anyways, that's the 3 things I want to be in Street Fighter 5. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said before, comment below what you want to see in Street Fighter 5. Because I am stoked for this game. But yeah, there's some things that could just make me more hype. What about you guys? I'm out of here. Deuces.